Have you ever bought a home and moved in, and then afterwards you found tons of issues and problems that the previous owner has passed on to you? Or when you purchase a home, do you really understand the most important items that you absolutely need to make sure are working as they're supposed to do? If you answered yes, then today's show is for you. Please welcome Art Guzman with Fort Bend Inspections. Art is the owner and founder of Fort Bend Inspections right here in Fort Bend County. His company does inspections from full home to thermal imaging, pool and spa, sprinklers, you name it, and he does it. He's been one of our preferred inspectors in Siena for years now and across Houston, and does a crazy good and thorough job. Art, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. First of all, what's up, everybody? Art with Fort Bend Inspections, and where were we? I was just introducing myself. Yeah. What's up, Ryan?
So, Art, tell us a little about yourself and where you grew up, what brought you to our area here in Fort Bend, and then what was the path you took to, like, I'm going to go start a inspection company?
Well, it's quite interesting, but first of all, I grew up in Houston, I guess. Not too interesting, but...
What part, by the way?
So originally, I lived in... It was... I don't even think it had a name, but it was like between 4th Ward and River Oaks.
Okay.
I guess that would be like Midtown and Montrose, and it was all just blended in. But as time went on, everything was divided and it was gentrified, and then every section has a name now. But right in that area, and I went to Lanier Middle School, Lamar High School, so it was all still zoned there.
Right.
And then again, as they were tearing down old houses, rebuilding, we moved further up north. But I was a little older, so I was in my teens, so I didn't really live like up north too long. I'd say maybe like 4 or 5 years until I was able to move on my own, and then I just ended up moving back closer towards like Inner Loop area, Edo for a while because I just liked that area, and then Galleria area, that was nice. A little too busy, but still I was around everything. I was young, it was fun, and then. In the process, so backtrack. This is what's interesting is that what I'm doing now is like totally not, was not the path. So originally I was a DJ for a long time.
Yeah, I know you told me that. Yeah.
Yep. I was on the radio for a while, for some years. And then I went to Atlanta, moved there for a couple of years. And
what kind of music did you DJ, by the way? I forgot.
Mainly hip hop, but of course, top 40 hip hop, and then a little bit of EDM. Not too much, just a little bit, but mainly it was hip hop.
You do any of that anymore,
R&B,
by the way?
For fun and for the family.
Got it. Cool.
But anyway, so I did that for a while. Got into the music, got into marketing, promotion. Understood how things worked with building artists and stuff like that. So I ended up actually managing and then working for some pretty big labels.
Nice.
And that was a good time.
Yes.
Okay. We have to do a whole other podcast about that because it's a long one. But anyways, I ended up coming back home and I wanted to do something. I always loved architecture. Right. So I always loved building. And so I wanted to do something that I was still not necessarily happy, but just that I had a passion for, I didn't just want to like, all right, now I just need to go find something, right? So my thing was like, I want to like get into real estate, but I want to build or recreate or renovate or whatever it is, flip homes. And I tried to do that by being a realtor because I was like, I don't know anything about it. Let me just be a realtor and see, what that's about.
Like, were you like selling homes, or were you just like, you got your license to like flip them?
No. I started at Heritage. Okay. And that was fine.
Doing new sales.
I never got a new house. No,
but
it was always resales.
Okay, you were doing resales. Okay,
yeah, leases and resales.
Got it.
And I didn't even do many. I think I only did it for like 8 months, and I did three sales and like 4 leases.
The average time for a realtor, I think, is like 18 months, and then they bail out. It's not for everybody.
No, It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And my main mistake was my first one was a friend. Oh, I want to buy something. It took like they were the first person I showed something to, and the last.
Really? Yeah.
Because
it took them that long.
in between that year, I was showing other people stuff, and they were buying and selling and whatever. But this person, I was like, this is crazy. It wasn't for me. But I did learn what I learned, about the transactions and things like that and how that side of it works. But it still wasn't, I was like, this isn't what I want to do. So then I went to go learn how to build a house. So I went to school for that, and that was like a 1.5-year process. In that process, the guy that was actually teaching us how to build, instructing us, he was like, oh, I own this home inspection business. So I'm like, what is that? He was like, I actually make more money on doing that. And I was like, what? So you can just look at stuff and get paid for it. And he was like, yeah. So I was like,
I wish I could get paid for every time I've shown a house and just looked at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it's deeper than that once you really get into it, but that's how you kind of like, what are you talking about? So he was like, yeah. And if you're interested, so I'm like, this guy's just trying to sell me on some more stuff. But he was like, look, come with me for a week. If you're not interested, don't do it. But yeah, I went with him, and we did that whole week commercial inspections. Okay. So it was neat. He was showing me what they paid him, and I was like, man, this is it. You
did the math, and it was like, all right, this is it. Okay.
It made sense.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Off the bat, I was like, oh, this is cool because I get to see everything. Homes being constructed and actually be part of it in a sense. I mean, I'm not like working on the house, but I get to still somehow be part of that build, or attached to it in a way. And, you do look at commercial, you look at old houses, new stuff. So I was like, this is great. I love architecture. I get to be around it more so than, a builder or real estate agent, because there's only so many houses you can show or do, So I was like, oh, so I can actually look at, 80 houses a month or whatever, or structures really, because it's, both commercial and homes and.
What do you normally do? How many do you do a day, typically, like a max out day?
I slowed down now, but I used to do 3 to 4, and it was tough.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to, this is like 6 a.m., getting up, getting the kids ready, and then out the door by 7, and I probably wouldn't get home till 8.
And so you guys started, when did you start your company?
2016.
Okay.
But I didn't get my first inspection until January 2017.
And you have other inspectors that work for you, right?
Now I do, yeah. So I slowed down some,
yeah.
So now I'm more like really managing it.
Right.
And then, I'll try to get more like commercial and construction inspection work.
So quick question. How many, like if you were to describe really quick, because a lot of people are like, they don't even understand what inspection is.
Right.
Like they're just, you buy a house, you see it, you close on it, you give them the money. They don't, and then a realtor comes along and is like, yeah, you need to get an inspection. And they're like, what's that? How much does that cost? And it's like another $400 or $500, whatever it is. If you were to describe to someone who is buying for the first time, what an inspection is, just really quick, what is an inspection?
Well, the shortest answer would be, it's really just a snapshot of what the state of the house or
condition.
But it kind of varies. And I want to answer this a little bit with more clarity, because if it's a new house, you still perform the inspection the same, but with an older house, it's almost like you're kind of letting somebody know, look, this is what you're buying. I'm inspecting this house to show you, or not show you, but just to state the facts. Hey, you have this type of water heater. This is what you have. This is how old it is. Generally, this is, how long they last or whatever, right?
Yeah.
With a newer house, it's a little different because buyers have a little cushion.
Yeah.
And they have warranties. So if something goes wrong, then typically the builder will be liable. So there's a little cushion there. But with a resale, you really are. I mean, you should get one with a new one and a resale, but it's the way that I'm explaining it would be different, because I'm still going to tell you, as when you buy a new home or a used or a resale, a used house, I guess, is the state and the condition of the house at that time when I inspected it. Okay. Right. But with a resale, it's just you have to just be a little clearer when you explain to the buyers, like, hey, like y'all need to do this because if not, it can go bad or whatever, or this is bad, this is not so bad, this is normal, we see this all the time, no need to panic. This isn't. With a new build, you are explaining those things to the buyer, and they're like, oh, great, so we'll have the builder fix it.
Right. There's no negotiation.
There's that cushion.
Yeah.
The negotiation is, oh, the inspector found this and this and this.
Right.
Let's get it fixed, and then come out and make sure it's done right, and that's it. Resale, I can explain it to people, and sometimes they'll call me a month later. Hey, do you know roofer where the roof is leaking? I'm like, y'all didn't get a new roof? No, we didn't think it was that important. I'm like,
yeah,
not a good idea. So it's not, you can only explain something.
Yeah. And it's so basically it's a report that explains everything that's operating correctly or not operating correctly.
Right. But with a report, remember, it's like a 60, 70 page document.
Right.
Sometimes more.
Right.
So there's a lot that we find. So I don't expect, and remember, you have, those that know how real estate works, but so when you're buying a house, you have an option period. Typically it's, I don't know, well, nowadays it's been 5, sometimes less than that, days to decide whether you want to move forward with this home purchase or not.
Right.
So you're giving somebody, and we're not going to go out on the first day because that's just, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Everyone's busy and we can't get out there until like your third day. You have 2 days left. So we can't really expect you to read all this in 2 days and then have a plan of action. Like, oh, I know exactly what I need to do. That's why we explain it, and we go through the report with the client and say, hey, this, and this, and this needs to get done because it's that important. It may not seem important to you, but it is important for this to get done. Yeah. Okay. And so I guess, again, that's like the shortest answer, but on a resale, we explain things to the client the same way we do with a new build, but the difference is the urgency on a resale. Like, look, you have to get this done. A new one, hey, the builder's going to take care of it. We'll come back and make sure that it was done. There's a difference. So,
okay, let's have some fun then. What is the worst home?
Oh man,
that you have ever seen, and tell us the deals. If you got any funny stories with it too, or scary stories, either way.
There's been some haunted houses. Well, what I thought was haunted, I think so. I know I was doing a pretty old house. It was like one of those Victorian Heights, historic houses. It's a neighborhood in kind of like central northern Houston, and so those homes have been there. Some of them are old, like 1920s, even older, and. Yeah, so I was doing this inspection, and I was in the attic.
How big was it?
It wasn't that big, actually. I think it may have been maybe 1,800 square feet.
Okay.
So the area, there was an added garage apartment.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the main house. I was in the attic, and I swear I heard 2 doors shut. When sometimes when you leave the front and back door open, the front door is shut, and it wasn't that. It was like a bedroom door, and I was like, okay, I think somebody's in here. So I went down. I was like, okay, hi, inspector's here. Is anyone here? No one. Went back up in the attic. Boom. And I was like, I gotta go.
Wait, boom. What do you mean?
Another door shut. And now it was. So when you're in the attic, you can kind of like hear what's like right underneath, pretty much directly under. Yeah. It felt like it was directly under me.
And no one's in the house?
No.
You walked in the house, not a person there?
No.
Do you lock the door when you go in the house? Sometimes.
Not all the times.
That time you did or didn't?
That time the door was for sure closed, the front door, because I thought that's what it was originally. I went to go look, and then I still thought that the first time.
Do you still think that now?
No, I really think that the place was haunted.
And so you just heard two doors shut, and then you're out?
Yeah, I was done. I was like, I got to hurry up and get out of here.
You didn't finish the inspection?
No, I had to finish. I just hurried up. I was like, typically in the attic portion is like, I'm almost done.
All right. Well, let me tell you that. So my buddy Steve, who we're going to have here in a couple of weeks, he was going to, like, sometimes people will call us and be like, hey, come take a look at our house. I have this house. It's vacant. And I want you to tell me what we need to do to get it looking good, to get on the market or whatever. He calls me, and Steve's like the most not, like, low key, nothing really bothers him. I mean, he called me and he was like, like he's like,
Wow.
dude. I was like, dude, what happened? He goes, he tells me a story. He said it was almost identical. Except he didn't go in the attic. You ready for this? He goes into upstairs and the house is vacant. So like no one's there.
Same with me.
Like there's not furniture. There's not anything.
I didn't mention mine was vacant as well, but yeah.
He hears kids, like laughing, and then he hears like what is the things called? Like a jewelry box when you open it. It's like I don't know what it is. My voice.
A little
is
carousel,
little
type of
carousel
deal.
thing. Yeah. And he's like, it must be coming from the like neighbors or something, because he's like, there's nobody in this house.
Right.
And he'd actually already gone in the room, and then he came back down, and then that's when he started to hear it. So he goes back up. He's like, it's got to be the neighbors. So he looks. So he gets up there and it stops, and he's like, you know how you're upstairs and you can look into the neighbor's yard.
Right.
Nobody's in the yard. He looks out there. He goes to the next room and he hears it, like he says, 3 times as loud, like as if it was no question about it in that room. But he had shut the door right before he left. He opens and he's hearing the noise.
Yeah, I'd freak out.
He opens the door and there's nothing there. Like there's no noise. The noise stops.
I'd put that in the report.
And then he's like, he's looking to see if, like, is the door got some type of sound thing that when you open, shut it, or whatever.
Right.
He goes back downstairs and then he hears like hysterical laughing of kids.
Oh no. Yeah, I'd have to leave quickly.
He said he ran out. He was shaking. He was with his buddy and he was just like, I've never been scared of ghosts, but I 100% believe that was a ghost in that house. Which
I believe it.
That's not what the show's about. It's talking about ghosts, but I guess in the real estate world it can happen. All right, so that was a scariest house, but what was the worst house?
So I've had
condition?
a few.
Or like the funkiest thing that you saw.
I worked for the state and the city before looking at homes that were uninhabitable. Well, verifying that.
Oh my Lord.
Oh yeah.
Uninhabitable?
Uninhabitable.
And is that by like the state's definition, or like you would say?
States. So I had a
Because
protocol.
their definition
standard
is actually a little higher than what maybe some people actually live. Or no, you don't think
no.
so? Oh, it's not.
No.
Because when you do like Section 8s.
Yeah, those are. I mean, so real quick. So if I go into resale and the window's cracked, it's getting written up. It's a deficiency.
Right.
With those type of inspections, no. They're like, you have to. It has to be big enough. I think to have your fist like through the window.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
Like they have real very.
Like bullet holes are fine.
That's fine.
No, that's habitable. Habitable.
Right.
Yes.
No, these homes were bad, but so you'll walk in and you can like pier and beam typically, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I need to speak in the mic, but typically, yeah. So pier and beam homes, and when you walk in, there's holes. I mean, and I'm not kidding you, possibly the size of cars. You know, you're like, oh, whoa,
Like all the way to the ground.
Yeah, and you're like, no one. When you pull up, you're like, oh, no one lives here. It's an abandoned house. They just want to see if can they fix it or they have to tear it down. And sure enough, somebody is there living there. Every house. It was pretty sad. You go knock on the door. Somebody answers.
Like, what are they doing?
No
If there's a
way you live here.
If there's a hole in the ground, are they walking around it to go get
flying around.
I'm walking to get breakfast and I'm going to just like walk
Mold.
around the hole.
Yeah.
Are they? I mean, there's no disrespect, but they're like borderline homeless people.
Yeah. So they just unfortunately like something like maybe Harvey or some type of big weather.
Are they owning it? Are most of them owning it? Or are they renting it?
No, they own it, and they're waiting.
And they just can't afford the repairs, probably.
Right. And so there's programs that are out there to help people like that.
Okay.
So they're just waiting on that aid.
Yeah, got it.
And during that time, this is the way they're living, unfortunately. But yeah, I've seen that. It's crazy. So that's bad. Halfway, falling down homes. And then on the just regular inspection side, I went into one house not far from us. It was in, I won't even say the neighborhood.
All right.
All right. So anyway, I've never seen this before, but I walked in. I guess the person had passed away.
Okay.
So the son and daughter inherited and they were selling it. So I was inspecting for the person buying it. I walked in. Everything was still there as far as like, they never cleared out the fridge. I think it was vacant for like 3 months by that point. There was these like brown stains on the wall. I'm talking floor to ceiling. I don't know what it was. It looked like blood, to be honest, you know. But so I had to ask.
Have you seen a lot of blood in houses?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm just curious.
No, I hadn't.
Like blood splatters?
That's why I was like, I'm not trained to look at this.
Okay.
I don't know what this is. But it just looked like an odd, you know, maybe like reddish brownish color. But it did turn out to be blood. But what it was is, the guy that is the buyer knew. He was like, I was like, I don't know what that is on the wall, so I don't know how to write it up because it doesn't look like, I'm not a mold inspector, but I was like, it doesn't look like mold. But it's something, some kind of organic material. And he was like, no, it's blood. I was like, what? He was like, this place was infested with bed bugs. So that's the blood that the bugs start. Let me back up. That's the blood that the bed bugs were sucking out of the person that lived there. Cause
what?
Yeah, they couldn't get up or anything. And so I guess that's the room they passed in.
Oh my Lord.
I know.
Wait, so and then they fly to the wall and they like blow up or something?
I don't know. I was done asking questions.
What in the world?
And luckily I have a kind of like those. It looks like a hazmat suit, but it's not, right?
Dude,
but I ran out to my truck and put one on and then came back in.
I would be more scared of that than a ghost.
I was disgusted.
I mean, what? I don't understand. The bugs just, they suck the blood like a mosquito. Like, is it like that? Like if you get a mosquito and sometimes you smack it, it has blood on it?
Yeah, but so I Googled it and I didn't read on the method of how the blood gets on the wall. But when I Googled like bed bugs, you know, stains on walls, like it looks exactly like it. And I was like, whoa.
Oh my Lord.
That was, you know, one of just not a good inspection.
Oh my Lord.
I did it. I got through it.
All right. Now here's a question and you can only pick one. What would you say of all the inspections? I mean, how many inspections have you done at this point?
About 3,000.
Oh my Lord. Okay. All right.
I mean, total. Yeah.
That's a lot. Of all the inspections you've done, what would you say is the one most common missed costly item that a buyer, you put it on the report, you tell them about it. I mean, you don't necessarily see the repair request and all that, but ends up costing them the most because they didn't negotiate it from the contract.
There's probably gonna be more than one, but if I had to do one,
you have to do one. My next question would give you help with that.
Sealant around all the roofing items and the stacks, because I have gotten calls where, hey, there's a leak coming into the master bathroom exhaust vent, and I'm like, yeah, did y'all not, seal? You didn't get a roofer to go up there and seal? Oh well, caulking is like $10, so we just didn't think it was a big deal.
So you're even it's not only just the most costly, it was the most cheapest probably to do, and they didn't do it. Yeah. That makes sense. You don't want to make sure your roof is like completely water resistant.
Right. So personally, I would, if I had to like put maybe like priority, for instance, and I guess an average home buyer, homeowner, I wouldn't say homeowner, a home buyer, I guess, that doesn't really know much about it, especially first time home buyers, they would probably gripe more about a broken window than the sealant.
So they care more about cosmetic stuff than
the broken window is like $500, but the sealant's $10. That can wait. I'm like, no, because
that's your bones. I mean,
when it rains, it's going to ruin some stuff.
Good. Second question is, what are, and briefly cover it, we're running out of time. What are the top 5 most important things that you really need to make sure is okay when you get that inspection report back and it's got some issues with it? What would you say are the top 5?
Top 5. We'll start from the top to bottom. Roof, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, foundation.
Got it.
Doors, paint, caulking is important, which I just mentioned. It is, but it's such an easy job to just pay somebody to do it, or if the homeowner has any type of experience, it is important. But foundation work is expensive and very important because it doesn't make sense to do anything to the house if the foundation isn't right. Same with roof. Plumbing, if there's leaks everywhere or there's, something stopping or blocking the pipes, again, what's the point of putting a new sink in? Yeah. Doesn't matter. Electrical, same deal. What are you going to do? I mean, if the electrical's bad, what else you shouldn't be doing any remodeling.
Well, what's funny is that, what I've always said is like the cosmetics sell the home.
Yep.
The
Exactly.
inspection report is what keeps you in the home. Like keeps it under contract. You got to get through that too. I mean,
Right.
you don't see that stuff. So, all right, real quick, drink of choice. You did drink of choice,
I did.
and you chose.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. You chose Starbucks peach refresher, no lemonade, light syrup. Do you drink this often?
I do on a hot summer day, and after I've had a few cups of coffee.
It has been hot.
It absolutely 100-degree
So
plus.
you took the lemonade out, which the no lemonade, and the fact that it doesn't. I didn't realize that how much sugar was in lemonade because I was expecting this to be super sweet because I was thinking lemon's sour, whatever. Anyway, so what I do is I drink it. It's your drink. I drink it, and then I give it a rating based on the genre that it is, which I will put into the genre of afternoon refresher, not coffee.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Dude, that's a good 8.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
I give 8s a lot, but I wouldn't put it at 10. But here's what I'll tell you: when I saw it, I was thinking like 4. When I tasted it, it was much better. Mm-hmm. I might order this again.
Well, that's good to know. Now, make sure they don't make it like this.
Yes, with your.
I don't know what that is.
I think that's
yours looks right.
I think it's dried pineapple.
Yeah, it does. It tastes good.
No, it's good. I mean, I would order this again. I would order a lot of 8 drinks again. I would never order a 4 though. But
What's a 10?
It's probably in the bourbon category.
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. So here's a question. We try to make the show very practical for someone who's listening or watching, for them to be able to like take something from it and do it. You have it, obviously every buyer, every seller, we're going to suggest them get a inspection. Not every seller, but most sellers, we try and say, hey, you might want to do a pre-inspection, but every buyer for sure. And most people do. Is there, like, if you're a homeowner right now and you know all about houses, and like me, you're just sitting around watching TV, living life in your house, going outside, go inside, go to work. You're not, you're not really like inspecting your house. You did your inspection, you bought it, 5-6 years ago. When an issue happens, you notice it. But is there some process or way for someone who's currently in the house to go, man, you need to be consistently checking this? Or is it like, hey, have Art come out there every other year and do another inspection and get those items?
Not necessarily, unless you aren't maintaining the house at all.
But a lot of people like the roof. They're not getting on top of the roof and like fixing the roof.
Yeah.
Or sealing the roof. Or the AC. When do you call an AC guy? When you're
I
AC guy.
actually do it once a year.
Yeah, I do too. But most people, they're like when it goes out.
I agree. Yeah.
So
I get those calls.
But what's something you can do? What's something the average homeowner can do to like keep up with maintenance besides like?
Well, my checklist. I mean, at least every 3 months, I'll go. I'll go outside. I'll look at the house. I look at the brick. I look at the windows, foundation. I look at the roof. I don't necessarily get on the roof. I wouldn't suggest anyone just getting on the roof, but at least stand back and look. Just look at it. Just stare at it for a while.
Is it worth you coming out like once every few years? And
it is if you're not going to do those things. Yes.
Yes, because I think a lot of people don't do those things.
Then I would agree, but again, they're not going to need a full home inspection, so that's something that they would have to specify, like, hey, I live here and whatever, and I don't need like the full home inspection. I just need the 5 majors, which is what I said: roof, foundation, plumbing, electrical. Right.
Okay. Okay, cool. And then is there a website that you would suggest for people who keep up with maintenance and stuff, or some source of information where they could go to find like, hey, here's what you need to be doing consistently for just general maintenance on your home? Do you know of any place that has that?
I actually had some, I used to give them to clients.
Okay.
And I actually just need to reprint them.
Okay.
I have like a 3-pager that will tell them like, hey, do this, do that.
Okay. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put it on the links in our podcast. If you can give me that page, we'll put it on the links, and at least the people listening will have that.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to do a little quick episode, and then this is the end.
Okay.
Is rapid fire. These are Ryan's rapid fire, and we're going to just do some great rapid fire questions.
Oh, God!
All right, here we go.
No, God, please, no!
It's one-word answers.
Okay.
So you can't do more than one word.
Got it.
Where'd you go on your last vacation?
Austin.
Who's your hero?
Me.
What is your favorite dessert?
Cheesecake.
Name an onomatopoeia.
Who?
Name an onomatopoeia.
I don't know.
No one knows that answer.
Yeah.
It's a word that makes a sound, like bang.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm right on that. Am I right on that? When my brain just
Look
stopped
it
for
up.
that. What's your favorite store?
Man, that's a tough one. I have a few.
One.
I like fashion, man. I'm gonna go with Saks.
All right. What time do you usually go to bed at night?
10 o'clock.
Wake up in the morning.
Between 6 and 7.
Favorite movie?
I like Rocky.
What were you afraid of? That's my son's favorite movie right now. What were you afraid of when you were a child?
Michael Myers.
Okay.
Yeah, my bigger brother.
Favorite board game?
Monopoly.
Favorite Disney character?
I guess Mickey Mouse. I don't really.
Finish the phrase. The way to my heart is...
To my stomach.
Like many of us. Do you enjoy running?
Yes, I used to run. Believe it or not, I used to run 6 miles a day.
Would you ever skydive?
Absolutely.
Can you freestyle rap?
Yes.
You have any tattoos?
No.
Summer, winter?
Summer.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Money or happiness?
Both.
Love or friendship?
Both.
Night out or a night in?
A night out.
Learn by watching or by doing?
Doing.
Street smarts or book smarts?
Both.
Thinker or doer?
Both.
Cannonball into the pool or dip a toe in first?
Cannonball into the
Man, I'm not a toe dipper. All right, last question. Always my last question is, if time was no object, you could get anywhere as quick as you wanted to be. Elon Musk had some type of fast rocket that got you anywhere, and money was no object, and you had one day. Where would you go? What would you do?
I'd travel the solar system.
You'd just be on a plane the whole time?
I'd just be viewing every single planet that's out there that I could possibly see.
And you would just be sitting on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, if getting off was an option, I'd do. Well, money.
You got 24 hours. I guess you're right.
They'd have to make a rocket fast enough. I mean, almost.
But do you have time to test every planet to figure out if it's...
I just put a foot on it. And then,
I thought you were a cannonball guy.
Yeah. Well, that's a good one. But there's no time.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Thank you, Art, for coming on the show. If you want to follow Art, go on Instagram. He's at Fort Bend Inspections, plural.
Yes.
Follow him there. And then if you're interested in, I guess I can give your phone number out.
Follow.
832-250-0135. If you need an inspection, he's your guy. We're going to get you his maintenance tips. And as always, thank you to our listeners for joining us. Please make sure and take a moment to like, subscribe to our channel, put some comments. If you have any questions for Art, we'll tag him in this as well.
Right.
And if we'd be honored if you give us a great review on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. Thanks again, Art. We will see you next time.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.